There we go.
That was the button sound effect.
That was the Okay, this one's a really interesting one. It's, would you rather play the lower-end Japanese RPGs or the lower-end Western RPGs? And if you don't mind, I would really like to go first.
You know what? Whatever, fine.
Okay. Japanese RPGs easily is my answer, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
I could get through some really low-budgeted Japanese RPGs, or some really silly ones with bad stories, or just for the battle system to play it. And most of the bad ones are mostly NIS, and I can get through them, some of them.
I don't know how you can. I can't even get through NIS.
Yeah, let me say that it's hard, but I can do it. Lower-end Western RPGs, I can't. I can't even play the first hour
what
games like...
qualifies a lower-end Western RPG?
Okay, you ready for this? Two Worlds, Risen 1 and 2. Any game in that category... is absolutely the worst. It's games that are... It's so bad that bad games make those games look good. And I'll tell you why. Because... Or backwards. Those fucking games are so boring. And that's the biggest thing. Obviously, there's worse movies than Batman Dark Knight Rises. Yeah. But Batman Dark Knight Rises is the most boring fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. So it is so bad.
You've seen a lot of exciting movies your entire life.
I'd rather watch fucking Transformers 2. I'd rather do that. And I
don't know, dude. You're going too far, James. You're going too far.
That is blasphemy. You are exaggerating.
No, listen. I know Rises is the better movie. I'm not stupid. I know it's better in every single way. But Transformers, I'd rather see Optimus Prime fight than see Batman with his horrible fight scenes.
What?
And terrible dialogue.
With Bane in the sewer, horrible? That was so intense.
One of the worst fight scenes I've ever seen on movie.
No, the Bane fight scene is amazing.
I was watching a Steven Seagal movie, and that's what that reminded me of.
You know what? You, sir, are just trying to get a reaction out of everyone. Right?
Okay. We're going way off topic. Okay. So, back to the question.
No.
Japanese RPGs. I can survive bad ones. I can't survive Western RPGs that are... Anything that isn't at least a Fallout 2 is just not working for me. I'm sorry.
Fallout 2?
Yeah.
You mean like New Vegas, or just like original Fallout before?
I'm sorry, not Fallout 2. Yeah, New Vegas, which is good, but glitchy as fuck. But I still like it.
I thought New Vegas was better than 3.
You are absolutely insane. But no. Well, let me put it this way: Vegas had a much better story.
You say Tomato. I say The Dark Knight Rises is better.
No, but. Are you seriously going to say that Vegas ran better than 3? I mean, Vegas
no, it definitely didn't, but it was just a much more engaging game.
It was a much better story, yeah, but 3 was still, at its time, one of the best games ever created.
I think... Let me jump in on New Vegas real quick. I think the thing with New Vegas was it was that game that had so much ambition, it had a lot going for it. The main problem was the execution itself hurt. And I don't mean it in terms of execution... In terms of, like, you know, they didn't do things right. Like, story missions and things like that came out good. I mean, like, in terms of how glitchy that game is, how buggy it was, that type of shit.
It's a technical mess. It was... And that's every single Obsidian game, with the exception of South Park, which, by the way, is an amazing game. But yeah, so that's my answer. Okay, somebody can go now.
I'll go. So what... It was low-budget games, you said?
Yeah, like lower budget...
low quality, it sounds like.
Yeah, low quality, because there's some low-budget games that are really good.
I can't... Okay, so low-budget games, you know, in terms of good ones, you know, a lot of Western companies are doing a lot of, like, cool little things, you know? Like, playing homage to classic JRPGs. Like, there's a game that just... It's been out for a long time, but it just came out in HD. It's Pure Solar.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Pure Solar is... Now, a lot of people mistaken it to be a tribute to 16-bit RPGs. Mm-hmm. It's a tribute to a specific type of 16-bit. And that's mostly TurboGrafx and Sega Genesis RPGs. Because it's done in the style of, like, say, Lunar. If you look at those games compared to Super Nintendo RPGs, there's a very high stylistic difference. And that game pays homage to those. So in terms of that, that's great. But in terms of just shitty, like, low-budget, like, poor quality titles, I can't play anything from any any genre, whether it's
Yeah,
JRPG.
really, I'm gonna just. I don't mean to sound lazy, but I have to just agree with you because, you know, you can say that you rather play a shitty JRPG rather than a game like Two Worlds, but I don't think that's fair because, like, most of the shitty JRPGs are at least playable. Two Worlds in those games like have really like game-breaking bugs and things like that.
Alright, well, this is the curse of a reviewer where I have to play everything I can get my hands on, and there's just some bad Japanese RPGs, but I can really play them. But I just can't play some of these fucking terrible. I played Dragon Quarter longer than I played Two Worlds. And, I mean, Dragon Quarter, if either of you have played, is absolutely, like, the worst Japanese RPG game I've ever played in my life.
It's a dishonor to a great JRPG series called Breath of Fire.
Oh, Breath of Fire, that was
dude,
it.
I still have Breath of Fire 3 for the PC. I mean,
Great
PlayStation.
game.
Oh, great game.
Yes.
But not Dragon Quarter. That game was a piece of shit.
Fucking dragons all over the goddamn place. Breath of Fire 1 through 4, great games. Dragon Quarter, piece of fucking shit.
Yep.
The end.
Totally agree.
I like how intense you get. Like, you go from, like, you know, nice dude to, like, Simon Cowell. Just, like, fucking utter garbage!
I do. That's... I don't know. Go watch my channel, man. That's how James and I met. You should see my rants, James.
The rants are the best. You like, be like, so, and then I'm like, fuck this shit! I'm like...
You know, I'm kind of surprised. We all seem to have, like, pretty agreeable opinions. Like, there weren't any intense fights.
Well, Dark Knight Rises versus...
Well, you just... You know what? We don't need to get into this, alright?
So I guess we answered this question. This one's going to be a short one.
Yeah.